Yo, yo, yo. So today I thought I would talk to you about etymology, about the meaning behind certain words, specifically words like earnings, weekend, weekdays. What are we talking about when we talk about us being on autopilot? What is the true meaning behind when we are saying we are on a hamster wheel? I'm talking about spell work, spelling, because indeed when you are writing something down, that's spelling. You are creating spells. Spelling, spell work. So I came across this poem by a woman named Laurel Airica. I assume that's her name and not just her channel name. So if you want to hear this poem decoded, recited by her, go check her channel out. So Laurel Airica is her name. And, I just thought this poem is quite beautiful. And the etymology in it is very interesting. And, so here we go. So the poem goes like this. Listen carefully, if you will. So we awake each morning and go off during the weekdays in various jobs and undertakings until we come to the weekend. More people die between 6 and 9 on a Monday morning than any other time of the week. Trans. Awake is a funeral party for the dead. Mourning is a state you are in when you tend awake. And we would have to be in weekdays to earn the living, since urns are for the ashes for the dead. We call our jobs undertakings. Job is a Hebrew word for persecuted. And what we get in the end with this perverse bargain with life is the weak end of the deal, as we get progressively weakened ourselves. So what really struck me here is when it talks about more people die between 6 and 9 on a Monday morning than any other time of the week. Trans. So when you think about this, what we say on Mondays, isn't Monday like something that we would rather be not a part of? I'm sure you've heard people say on a Monday morning, oh, I'd rather be dead. It's like the feeling that many people have during Mondays. And also, what was interesting was the statement of, and we would have to be in the weekdays to earn the living, since urns are for the ashes for the dead. So it's almost like our being, our purpose here is being reduced to this hamster wheel. It's like we have to earn our living. We have to be in the weekdays to earn our living. So first of all, we have to be weak for days to earn our living. Earns are for the asses for the dead. So it also talks about the fact that we work during the weekday, and what we have left for that is, the earnings, money, But what is money really? What's the value of it? Isn't it just the ashes of the labor we've been through, as still we've earned the money, but we still feel dead inside? But we hold on to that money like it's something precious that we've lost, like the ashes of the dead. And also, we would have to be in the weekdays to earn the living. So it's almost like you have no value. You don't earn the right to be alive without you being on this hamster wheel. Like your value is being determined by your job. Like as if we don't have the right to be alive, as if we don't earn to be alive just by being. Like we are not enough. We have to work on the weekdays. And also, job is a Hebrew word for persecution. So it's almost like if you are persecuted, there's a punishment for that. There's some sort of punishment. So it's almost like the job is the punishment. Persecution also talks about evaluating, being constantly under the radar, under pressure. And in your job, you are being valued by how much you work, really. It's almost like the job is a punishment for the peasants, job, persecution. And what we get in the end with this perverse bargain with life is the weak end of the deal, as we get progressively weakened ourselves. So it's almost like, yeah, but the weekend, wait for the weekend. We live for the weekend. Like it's a prize. But is it? Or is it the weekend of the deal? As we get progressively weakened ourselves, and as we get progressively weakened, we are now more easier to just repeat this hamster wheel again, because we are weak. We are weakened progressively, so that it's almost like we have no power left to do nothing else except be on this autopilot mode and go into this trance-like state where we feel that we can't, we don't want to, we feel like robots, but like in a trance, we repeat this over and over and over again, this cycle. Why is it that since we are kids, we are made to work according to this weekday system? It's not something we created. We didn't decide that, yeah, I want to work from Monday to Friday every day of the rest of my life. I want to be in this hamster wheel every day for the rest of my life. These words like weekend, weekdays, undertakings, job, earnings, these are not accidental words. They serve a purpose, you know. And also when it talks about the fact that, you know, a wake is a funeral party for the dead. So even when we talk about awakening, you can think about this in a way where, you know, because we have this idea of the awakening being like, I have this universal answer and everything is honey and roses. You know, that's not exactly how awakening goes. Now, obviously, awakening process is something individual and there is no right or wrong way to go through it. And this is not about being grim, but you know, there might be a phase in your awakening process that, you know, some people call the hermit phase, where as you are being awakened, it's almost like you are attending your own awakening party, your own awake, because you are watching the old you die and observing the new you being born, you know. And also because it's highly possible that during the awakening process, you start to lose connections with people that you used to be connected with, you know. You might start to observe the outside world as if everyone is on this trance-like state. It almost may feel to you like the outside world is not alive, like you are attending a wake party for the dead. Now, obviously, this is just a phase. These are just growing pains. I promise you, when you go through the awakening process and when you get to the other side of it, your life will be full of magic. It really will. So this is not a negative thing. Awareness is the key. Awareness is everything. You know? Like the awakening can sometimes feel like a death. A death of something old, you know? Like you are losing something. But you're not. You're only being wiped clean of things that no longer serve, so you have room to things that do serve you. So let me read this again so you can decipher yourself what this means to you. We awake each morning and go off during the weekdays in various... Let me start again. We awake each morning and go off during the weekdays to earn our living in various jobs and undertakings until we come to the weekend. More people die between 6 and 9 on a Monday morning than any other time of the week. Trance. Awake is a funeral party for the dead. Mourning is a state you are in when you tend awake. And we would have to be in the weekdays to earn the living, since urns are for the ashes for the dead. The ashes, we call our jobs undertakings. Job is a Hebrew word for persecution, persecuted. And what we get in the end with this perverse bargain with life is the weak end of the deal, as we get progressively weakened ourselves. And like I said, we would have to be in the weekdays to earn the living. So it's like, it's a genius system, really. We would have to be weak during the days so that we can do this thing. That's what would have to be done to us so that we would willingly enter to this hamster wheel, to this trance. Now, the next word I would like to explore is actually the word it, or it is, and might, you know? So what are we talking about when we mention the word it, or it is? So, for example, when we say, it can be this, or it can be that, or it might be this, or it might be that, you know? The word is comes from the word Isis, from the goddess Isis, you know? And there is some imagery of Isis being under a veil, like there is this veil on top of Isis. And when the veil is lifted, it talks about the initiation, the, you know, the acceptance of what is, the acceptance of the embracing of the unknown. Not knowing is wisdom. Not knowing, it is, or the word might. So it might be it might be this, or it might be that. Talks about possibility. You know? It's the yin and yang. It might be this, or it might be that. It can be this, or it can be that. It's the yin and yang. It's pure Tao. It's possibility. And you know, the word might comes from the word mighty, which can also be synonymous with the word God. God Almighty. It is. And you know, the word it is, it can be this, or it can be that, leaves room for variety. It leaves room for growth. It leaves room for expansion. It's the eternity of perfection. Because when everything else is gone, what is left is possibility. You know? Possibility stays there. It's always there. It's ever present, is possibility. Isn't that God? Something you cannot destroy, cannot fully explain, but it's always there. And we feel the existence of that. When everything else is gone, possibility is there. And this is why, you know, a lot of mystics, yogis, and shamans, druids, you know, believe in the power of questions. My cat is going crazy. This is why they believe that there is a lot of wisdom in asking questions. This is why they think that people who are curious are actually intelligent, because when you are asking a question, you already have the answer. It's in the question almost, you know. You are a seeker when you question things, you know. Now, you know, what I also want to mention is inspiration. Why art is so powerful? Because when you are creating art, whether you are making music, art, painting, making films. This is why a lot of films may, or TV shows, may predict the future, because when you are making art, you are tapping into this what is. You are tapping into the Akashic records, and the Akashic records has all the knowledge that the world has ever recorded, past, present, and the future. Because whatever will happen has already happened. Time is not linear. The information is already being recorded. And when you are creating art, you are tapping into this very source, to this very knowledge, to what is. It is what it is. And that's why art is so powerful, because it's very difficult to create art that's untruthful. This is why art transcends time, different universes even, That's why they say music is the universal language. That's why art is so transformative. People recognize the truth internally. We do, Now, also what I would like to mention is why the written word is so powerful. Why books are considered to be sacred. There is an elemental aspect to writing, to you writing on a piece of paper. Because as you are writing, it, is quite likely that your hand is actually touching the paper at some point when you are writing. So you are actually incorporating your essence. You are literally leaving your DNA to the paper as you are writing, spelling. Now also you are using a pen. What is that pen made of? Is it lead? Is it coal? Is it a feather pen? And feathers correspond with air. So you are performing elemental magic when you are writing with, let's say, with the feather pen. So it becomes more potent when you actually write by hands in paper. You are incorporating yourself to the written word. Now, this is why, and you might cry when you are writing something, laugh when you are writing something, so there's like bodily fluids there, sweat even. And this is why they want us, usually, if you think about like when you have to sign documents, when you have to sign contracts, this is why they want us, from this perspective. This is why they want us to sign contracts and documents in person, because it's almost like you are performing a binding spell. You are binding yourself into that, what you are writing. When you sign your name to a contract, it again becomes more binding. It becomes more potent when you actually write it yourself versus, via computer or something. But fear not, like I was saying, awareness is everything. Awareness is everything, You can break any spell, evil eye, anything, with just you being aware, with just you knowing. Knowledge is power, It really is. Now, I also have to mention the word abracadabra. Now, as many of you might know, abracadabra actually means I speak, therefore I create, or as I speak, I create. It can also be used in a sense of as I speak, I destroy, you know. So, and, destruction is also creation. But you can obviously use this in good or in bad. An interesting fun fact, which perhaps some of you know, but the word Avada Kedavra from Harry Potter, the spell, actually comes from the word abracadabra. And obviously in Harry Potter is being used for evil, but I just thought it would be interesting to mention that. And abracadabra is an old Aramaic word, It really has power. It's not just a showmanship word. It has real potency, And I believe this is also why so many people, identified with the book series Harry Potter, because it has a lot of these aspects that actually really do mean something. Like really. Like I said, we recognize the truth internally. We can sense when there's something real happening. And again, the power of art. Art is channeling, really. It really is. And I feel like the book Harry Potter is very channeled book. Quite purposeful even, in a way. I think about how many people it started the fire towards reading. It really did. For a lot of kids, that book series was the initiation for the world of the written world, So that's all I'm gonna mention about this today. And, remember to be aware. That's all you need to do. Chill, be aware, know thyself, take your power back. Namaste and oneness. Bye.